Say hi.
There we go. You're on the show, Jed.
Okay. Welcome to It's Just Bodybuilding Reacts. There we go. Dusty Hanshaw, Scott McNally, and myself, Big Ron Partlow. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment, and
ring the bell.
And what are we pulling up, Scott?
We've got some Dexter Jackson shoulders and arm workout for the battle for the Olympia all the way back in 2001. Let's see if I can bring this up.
2001. So like early Dexter.
It was a long time ago. A long time ago. Can you believe it's over 20 years now?
What year did he turn pro? 98?
Is that what it was?
I'm looking it up right now. I'm just that number just flew out of my head. I have no idea why. Contest history. Yeah, 98 North American Championships, light heavyweight and overall. 98. So this is 2001. So he's only been pro for 3 years.
He's got those rims.
Let's see.
This is such a throw. That's before he got real money.
Yeah. That's the mid money SUV. There you go. Let's see what he has to say here.
Another day in the gym, fellas.
It was very quiet.
This is the world famous Bailey's Powerhouse Gym. We're gonna be shooting here. This is Skip. He's my trainer for years.
Been together about 100 years.
Man, best trainer in town.
Only trainer in town.
Oh yeah.
Lightweight, let's go.
So he's doing some shoulders
I
and arms
remember.
Warm now.
Again, the behind the neck.
Yeah.
This
Behind
is
the
the
neck.
old school thing. Remember, Kevin?
Again with the visor.
Oh. And
2001 rave
college
culture.
football coaches. Hey, Mike Van Wyck would be real happy with these laterals, with the little swing in there.
He likes
Stay
a little
on
swing,
that.
does he?
Oh yeah, doing them correctly,
know.
then standing tall at the top. I
That's
also
funny,
know that anybody watching this is going to be saying, "That's bad form. He's never going to get good delts doing that."
Yeah.
Swinging.
So that's
Yeah,
how
he's
I
hit at
did
the
my
bottom.
rear delt laterals for like 10 years.
Yeah.
15 years even. Was just heavy, kind of with the swing. Boom. Yeah. Dexter.
It's getting the Muscle Tech era.
Oh yeah. What an era that was. They had like a killer team.
They really did.
It was Branch, Dexter, Jay. It was like crazy.
It was nuts. Him. Then he even had like the Troy Alveses and
Yeah.
other guys
Yeah.
in the mix there as well.
Yeah.
Oh man. I
Dave
think it's
Henry.
insane when you looked at him back then. Yeah, David Henry, that's right. Like, comparatively, he wasn't big back then. But just
Yeah.
the shape was so bonkers. I mean, I think he got 8th at that year's Olympia and had just turned pro, would you say, around 3 years before that?
Yeah, 98. Turned pro in 98.
And think about
He's
the other
probably
guys.
low 200s there, like
Yeah.
206, 211 at tops. You know what I mean?
And thinking about who he'd be competing, like what were the 2001 guys like? They were massive, you know?
I'm curious about this.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. He's peeled.
You look like that 6 months out, too.
Yeah. He's still eating fried chicken. I think there's some food stuff at the end. We'll be sure to get that in here.
Oops, that's right. There we go.
So that was shoulders, I guess. Now we're getting into arms.
Shoulder and triceps. I pulled up here.
I haven't done that reverse grip press down, cable press down in a long time.
That makes me long for them. I used to do single arms,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and I hit a point in my life where I couldn't turn my hand over like that.
Yeah. That's not good,
Like,
Ron.
it hurt. It hurt. Like it hurt. So I just went to a hammer with a rope, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the old reverse.
How
grip
about this for
press.
guys that he beat at that size? Nasser
Yeah.
Marcus Rule, Tom Prince. I mean, some absolute monsters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It was a big era.
What lines? He's wearing a women's small belt there for sure.
I love
Who
all
would
this
guess
old
back then
equipment,
he'd be the
too.
winningest pro of all time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
He
this
still
point.
is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He still is the winningest pro. Was it 28 pro wins?
Oh, I don't remember the number.
So just to
I
give
just
you an
remember
idea
it.
how his year goes, 2001, he got 9th at the previous Olympia,
Right.
and he winds up moving up to 8th this year.
Okay.
So he's on the rise. He got 3rd at the Australian, 5th at the Arnold, 3rd in Hungary, 2nd at the Night of Champions. So he's at this point, everyone's kind of like, oh, Dexter's really good. Like he's going to be a threat, you know?
Yeah.
And he winds up being top 8. So at like, what does he weigh, you think, Dusty? What did you say? 220?
I'd guess like less. He would tell you 220. He's probably 215, 212. Yeah. There's no way.
Yeah.
What's crazy too is the amount of respect that Dexter has by everybody in the industry. There's nobody who's like, oh, Dexter is a bad dude or Dexter talked crap.
Oh,
you know
no
what I mean?
way.
Like Dexter was just a good, I'll tell you what, I was lucky enough in 2020 to be backstage at the Arnold, like literally right next to where all the guys are pumping up. And I'm literally there taking pictures of like Victor Martinez and stuff while he's pumping up. And that was his final show. If you guys remember, he did that posing routine and it was emotional because it was like his final routine is what he was saying he's going to do. And when he came off stage, the first person standing there when he walked down the steps was Cormier. And they just like, they looked at each other and they just had this huge freaking hug. And Dexter just started bawling and everybody came around, just started putting their arms around him. It was, I've got pictures. I'll see if I can find them. I'll drop them up here. But it was really cool, man.
So I don't know if people can see the camera, but this is Wikipedia's list of all the shows he did.
Oh, we're on page 2. We're on page 3. Page 4. This is insane.
It just keeps
You're
going,
on page
huh?
5. Holy.
Like, what the fuck?
What was his first show? What year was his first show?
First show ever was the 1992 Southern States 3rd place lightweight.
Okay.
Lightweight to Mr. Olympia. How about that?
Yeah, and then in 95 he won the light heavyweights at the USA's, but didn't turn pro.
No kidding.
Yeah. Crazy.
Got some wild legs on him.
Again, though, so he turned pro in 98, you said, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing I think, again, we talked about this in the past. Like, you don't need to turn pro at your first go. Keep advancing. And then even when you turn pro, then it was build back up again. You know, by the way, most of you should not be going to the Japanese steakhouse 3 weeks out.
Unless
I remember this.
Dexter Jackson.
Remember this. Listen
for the
to
week,
him.
I guess.
Like,
Come here maybe once or twice a week.
what's
I
your
usually
sweet?
take this up to about a week
Once
out.
or twice a week.
He'll take it up to
So about a
week.
week out. You go there.
Pretty clean. They cook it for me. They cook it with no sodium and nothing like that, no salt in it. So just something a little different. The lay right there, that's thick. See?
Japanese steak and rice. How hard's that to die on?
That's with me right there. I don't know about
So
You
he
had the right
competed.
idea.
He competed for 28 years.
That is wild.
First show to last show. It's 28 years.
And it was awesome the entire time.
Food's been cold over here, bro.
There's so many
Easily
things
one of my
about, and like, not to just be like, I don't think of the bad stuff, but there's so many things to think like Dexter didn't really ever get hurt. Dexter seems healthy as shit. Dexter looks like $1 million now.
Yeah.
Dexter and Jay like somehow just escaped time. Like we saw Jay in the UK. We talked to him in Nando's there, stood and chatted for like 25 minutes in Nando's with him and manager Matt and David Bay and Jay. I just kept looking at Jay's face. I'm like, you're like, you used to be a few years older than me, and now you look like younger than me.
He's reverse aging.
He's got that millionaire shit going on now.
Yeah, he sure does, doesn't he?
Jay might be hanging out with Mike O'Hearn a little bit. We'll see. Just maybe a couple of trips to the mall. He maybe went to the mall with Mike twice. It's like looks real good, And him and Dexter both kind of have that going on. Remember when we saw Dexter in Dubai, Dusty?
Yeah,
like
he literally looks. His face looks the same.
He looks
like
40.
not like he does, like literally the same. You're like, how's that possible?
Yeah, just
and his
weird.
physique, he literally just looks like an athlete now. Still has round muscle, he's just smaller. It's for most of us, when you get smaller, then all of it kind of just goes. Like you get
flatter
looking dude. Yeah. He looks like he's on 10 IUs of growth still, and just bubbling out of his mind.
Like the biceps are still like just bursting out of the tendon. Like when he moves his arms, when he's talking, he's just talking to you like this, and you see the biceps just like. But they're probably only 17 now, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the opposite end of the spectrum, there were guys that just came and went and came and went. I mean, how many evolutions of bodybuilding did he make it through 28 years of competing? That's a lot.
So he was bodybuilding. He was working out in the gym when Lee Haney was Mr. Olympia. Yeah. And then he competed with Ronnie Coleman and competed with Phil Heath and competed with Sean Roden and competed with Ramy.
Yeah, literally all of them. That's bonkers. The
with
amount of guys who won the Olympia in a time period where only one guy was winning for nearly a decade is pretty nuts, including himself.
Yeah.
And he was always in the mix. Like everyone always knew that any show Dexter did, he could win.
So just think, he saw Ronnie's entire reign as a competitor. And then he saw Jay's entire reign as a competitor, beat him once.
Yep.
And then he saw Phil Heath's 7 in a row as a competitor.
Kept going past that.
Like you're on stage for every one of those shows. He was in every one of those shows, wasn't he? Every single one, I bet.
Yeah. Just putting money away,
My favorite Dexter quote was when they had Triple H at the Olympia, like backstage,
talking to do the wrestling thing.
Yeah, and he's like trying to chat him up, and he comes up to Dexter backstage. And he goes, "All right, Dex. I mean, obviously, how do you think you're going to do this weekend?" And Dex is like, "I brought it, man." He goes, "All I'm saying is, I'm getting second." Triple H goes, "Second?" And he goes, "Come on, man, that's Ronnie Coleman." It wasn't even an option. Like second was winning for everyone else.
Yep.
Yeah. There's two quotes I love, 2 stories of Dexter I love. The one is I said it before, it's on one of the videos where he's training, and I think it might have even been 2008, which is the year he won the Olympia. So that's what makes it stick out of my mind. And he's training and he's got his elbows wrapped because he's saying how his elbows have started hurting a little. So he's like, I'm just wrapping them for a few weeks so I get through the prep. And he's just talking about how he goes, I made a whole career on catching people when they're off. Yeah. He goes, that's my thing. I play my game. And if the other guys don't play their game properly, I got them.
Yeah.
And then he looks at the camera and he goes, there ain't no runaways. This ain't the Ronnie Coleman days. And I was like, oh, damn, he's playing to win. Now that Ronnie's gone, he's fucking, you know what I mean?
That's a dangerous guy to be. Yeah, that's a dangerous guy to be.
And then the other story I love with Dexter is he shows up at the Olympia one day and he's walking backstage. It was 2003, the year Ronnie was fucking unbelievably crazy. And he walks backstage. He's got his gym bag. He's in like he's there. Everyone, all the guys, it's buzzing around, and he comes around the corner and Jay's sitting on a chair and he goes, "Jay, what's up, my man?" And Jay just looks up at him. He goes, "Did you see Ronnie?" And he goes, "No." And he goes, "Huh." Like that. It's just like, shit. Ronnie had his shirt off already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
He won that show immediately backstage. Everyone was like, wow.
Did you see Ronnie? Yeah.
That's almost got to be a relief back then when Jay was chasing, because it was like, well, we don't have to wonder if I'm going to beat him this year. I just saw him.
Right. Oh, man. Okay. Well, good memories. A good guy too. Everyone loves Dexter. You know what I mean? I mean, we've all heard some stories about everybody. There's always a story about everybody. People catch people on bad days. But I just haven't heard a bad story about Dex. He's just one of those guys. You get those pro athletes that play in the NFL for 20 years. They don't go to rehab. They don't have a bad divorce. They don't have like an assault charge in a bar in Texas. They don't get arrested at the border with weed in their bag. They don't just nothing happens. They just compete for 20 years, collect a paycheck, retire.
Yeah.
And maybe they got Dex, and they get one Super Bowl ring out of the whole thing maybe. And it's just awesome. And that's kind of what Dexter did. He's just one of those guys.
And loaded up the bank account along the way, between
Yeah,
those muscle tech years, that in itself, you don't even need
years.
to win a show at that point, right?
You get that you get the muscle tech money invested properly, and then the rest of your career, it's just gravy.
Yeah.
So, okay. Remember, everybody, like, share, subscribe, comment, and
ring the bell.
IamMutant.com. Get your ISO surge, get your all in, and everyone should get on the gear. Dusty 20, Big Ron 20, get your 20% off. Think Big Patreon for the last 5-minute crew. Thank you. Keep Scott, the producer, homed. And remember, everybody, it's just bodybuilding. Reacts.
I thought you were going to forget to say the reacts part. It was just a dramatic delivery, huh?